Hello, everyone. Welcome to my project for psychology. Here we will be tackling a difficult issue for some people, which is basically just programming and the hurdle of hopping into it in the first place. Now, I know nowadays that all you really need is natural language, but if you learn how to program, it cuts a step out of the process, which can make programs run faster. So without further ado, let's get into it. Step one of prerequisites, you should have Python installed and Kivy. Kivy is a app library that you can use to install certain you can use to run and install certain programs or use their stuff, because you really can't do anything without using people's libraries, because then you would have to go in and the idea of making a library is just to get certain tools that you'll need. So here we're installing Kivy onto the PC. And you can do that just the way that I did it. It's, run terminal, the whole nine. Get this out of here. Just minus this out, actually. Okay. New release of pip is available. Okay. We'll go ahead and run that real quick. And it's just as simple as, typing in what they say, which is nice. Pip install. Upgrade pip. Alright, now we have the latest version of the installer on our terminal here. Now I just use a terminal within VS Code because it's a lot simpler. And what we can do here is I have the steps for the project, which we will be pretty much just making we're going to make a new file here, and we're going to call this, let's see, we'll call it main.py. Py, why am I typing in py? Py is a Python extension that just tells the computer, hey, this is a Python library, and let's see what we got here. What's going on? Python debugger terminal. Okay, I'll just close that out for now, and then we will also create another file in this called main.kv. Now, if you're wondering, hey, I don't have all these files. What do I do? I will have them linked below. I'll just go ahead and put this folder. I'll pin the probably put it in a drive or something. Available upon request. So just reach out if you really want to get into this, and we can communicate and we'll get it done. So without further ado, us making these files, this is the file tree. Okay, we created a folder called water_tracker. Now, I didn't do underscores for this. I should have, but it's just sloppy file naming. But these are what we're going to be using, and it's just a lot of TXT files. And see, we have here, we have this. We installed Kivy. Okay. Step 2. Okay, we have this. We have a water tracker folder. with the files main.kv and main.py on it. Okay, and this is where we're going to start getting into the nitty-gritty of it. So this is imports. Imports is you take something from a library, right? Now, technically, you could just type in, this will be in the main.py folder, by the way, so we'll go ahead and go and type in here. We'll go from kivy.app. Well, actually, you know what? We'll go ahead and we'll take it from this. Go ahead and do this. Copy. I've pretty much taken all the hard work out of this. You don't have to. The only thing you have to worry about is just starting it up and starting up your thing and just copy and pasting the code. But in order for you to kind of understand this, date time, that's important. And JSON is also, we're going to be using JSON in order to keep track of, date times and getting to the nitty-gritty of it. So after we have spot include and proper dictating or proper coding, you will always put your froms and your imports up at the top. And just so that way it can be better. And this is just auto completions I have on my library. I have certain extensions for my code that I have gotten, so I can auto-complete whenever I'm creating an application based off of using Kivy. And Kivy, again, is just a library of just app creation in general. So these simple imports, now we're going to start creating the water tracker app, the class that inherits from the app. Now, we define reactive properties so the UI updates automatically when the values change. So let's go into here. We're going to be creating a class. Okay, a class is like, if you've ever played a video game, right, and you're creating a character. This is the way it's been explained to me, because most people that show people how to, make a class or something. It was used for making a video game. Now we're going to be pasting this into here, but here is the water tracker app. Okay, it'll be in ounces. Okay, and this can be, it's like it's a container within a container, or a container that can hold containers, I guess you could say this. So like if you ever had like a moving box, right, a large one that's a tub, okay, and you can put like multiple boxes inside. That's what a class is. That's all this is, if you think about it that way. And whatever you think about the class here, this is what it's referencing. Look, you can see app, okay, app. It's importing this class from the Kivy library. So that's super important to remember. We'll get into it a little bit more. We're not going to do the build yet. We'll go ahead and move on. But the total water and the number shown in the UI, daily target defaults to 64 ounces. We might change that. 64 ounces is a good amount of water to drink every day. This whole entire app, by the way, it's just, we're creating an app that's a water tracker app, okay? And it's just going to track the amount of water that you drink a day, and you can have it on PC and Android devices. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get into iOS at all because of the headache that it would cause. I'm not going to show you how to use a few other tools, mostly because it's just a pain in the butt, really. But we'll go and move forward. So now we're going to start talking about build classes or build functions, loading the data and saving the data, right? So we're going to go ahead and pull that up right here. simple as copy and pasting. I've already done all the hard work, so all you have to do is copy and then paste, right? See how this right here, this is class, okay? And this is defining a function. What is defining a function, Josh? Well, defining a function is pretty much it's that container that we talked about, okay? Now imagine another container with more containers. So you don't have to keep writing stuff over and over again. So if I have define function build with the parameter self, okay? Parameter self is just saying, okay, I want this code to do this to itself, okay? This self.store, okay? This is just okay. It's just accessing it's accessing something inside of self. Self is its own thing. Self is like, if I gave it a bunch of tools, if I gave the word self a bunch of tools, now self has a bunch of tools. So it can do self.store, self.load today data. If self.store exists today, then self.total water equals self.store get today. Okay, so it's just telling you that this is what it is. So look here, you can actually, so the beauty of Python as well is that you can, the comments itself. I created this last night, so a little groggy this morning because I haven't been drinking enough water, right? In this function, okay, create or open a JSON store file. Okay, that's what this does. Okay, that's what this does. Right here. Self.load today data, self.store, JSON store. Okay. Now then we'll be loading the KV layout file, main.kv. This file right here. That's what that would do. That builds the app. This runs the backbone of the app. So app building, and this is front end, back end. In app creation, there is usually a front end and back end side of an app. Because we're using Kivy, because it's touch friendly, and I don't know if any of you use like a Microsoft Touch or anything like that, you know, their notebooks and stuff, or basically you can touch the screen and whatnot. But we use the JSON store with the file name water underscore data.json. Each day is saved under the ISO date string key. Okay, so it basically, it's just fancy words for saying that this is going to store the day and the amount you consumed. And it'll load today's data so that way it keeps it current and it refreshes. It checks if there's data for today and loads it. Otherwise, it initializes it to 0. Save today data. Where is it at? Save today data. Saves the current water total to storage. Writes any changes back to the disk. Okay, so this basically makes it so that it changes and remembers that it changed. Okay, this loads today's water consumption from the local storage. Okay, and this is just building up the JSON store file we we're talking about in order for us to do this. And this loads the KV layout file for the app itself. All right, now moving forward, add, reset, and update statuses. That's what we want in the app, because I mean, like, how are you going to be able to input, you know, hey, I drink water, you know? So go to 6, right? Boop, 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 boop. Wait, we want all of this. Yes, actually all of it. All of it. Copy. And then paste. Okay. See that I'm sorry, that messed up. There we go. Now we get better. Now it actually works. You don't have to. I mean, you might have to copy and paste, but you need to make sure indentations are a thing. Okay, so class is first. We're still in a class. Okay, we're all just defining functions inside of this class, the water tracker app. Okay, and you need to make sure that you are indented, and you can hit the tab button. What I did was I just hit enter, hit backspace, and I made sure it was indented on this side. Okay, and same thing with if and else statements you'll see here. If and else. And we're not going to get into if and else's because that is a pain in of itself. And so once you start getting elif in there, then it just gets a little confusing. But we'll get there. Well, you can get there. You can get there. We'll walk into it. Probably not yet, but I'll link a YouTube video that helped me brush up on my programming skills before any of this. Now, these are the small helper functions. They add the water, right? Adds water, updates UI plus storage. Okay, so UI, user interface, that's all it means. Okay, so you don't, it's a lot of big words, I get it, but hopefully these comments will help break it down. This adds water and updates the UI plus storage. This resets the current day's progress, okay? And this, okay, update status right here, okay? Update status. It all comes together. It all comes together, I promise. Save today data, saves today data, okay? That calls this self save today data, self dot save today data. That's what they're calling. Okay, they're trying to okay, this function here, we're trying to call that. Okay, these are just they add water. Okay, increments the total, saves it, and updates the status message. Reset today. You can also do that yourself. And it'll be a button that you can click, and it'll reset the day's progress, just in case if it does not work. It sets the total back to 0. Update status sets the friendly message when the target is reached. Will show a celebration message because of positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement works. Always has, always will. Now, we're going to go ahead and step into this. Yeah, look at this. It already has it. See? It already has it incremented out. So all you'll have to do is hit tab, enter, tab. And that's it. That's it for the Python section. That's it for main.py. The app runs with the usual garb with this. Now, let's move into the Kivy folder. This is the Kivy folder. This is what this is building on. This is pulling from Kivy, and it's going to be pulling from this how do I say this? It's pulling from this side in order to run this. Remember, back end, front end. So now we're going to be doing the whole look of the app. So we're going to go ahead and move on to step 8 here. Okay. Boop. Copy. And paste. Okay. Now that we have all of this, that means, okay, what is this doing? This is the app itself. What does the label look like? What does the progress bar look like? What is the font size of the labels, the app status text, the box layouts? The buttons, we'll have buttons, 8 ounce, 12 ounce, 16 ounce. And then reset today. We'll probably do, we'll add another button here, just for posterity's sake. And you can see what I'm doing here. We'll add another button. Okay. Text. We'll do plus, how much is my water container? 56 ounce. Do font size, colon 22, keep with the same thing, and then on press, we'll do app dot add water, and then in parentheses 56. Okay, there we go. Now we have 4 buttons. Okay, now moving on from this, we're starting to get into the okay, keep it going. This will be the progress bar. Okay, progress bar. And it's going to have a lot of neat stuff. This will be the label showing the data/target right here. Okay, this is it. This is what's showing the, app needed, or water, total water drink divided by daily target ounces. Okay, so that's going to be, it's going to be really helpful. It's going to make it look all nice and pretty. This is the buttons. Remember, app.add water, button. When you press it, it'll do what it needs to do. And then we also have a reset today button. Resets today. So now we will go back. We're going to do a save on this. Make sure you save your files, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and click run. What? Isn't that sweet? Look at this. Look at what? It's got the progress bar, daily water reach your goal, and goal reached. Now, we didn't get the emoticon, so we'll probably go ahead and just scrap the emoticon. So we'll go ahead and scrub out of this. Okay. And we'll type in congratulations. Goal reached. And now we can click it again. We'll do that. Do this. Congratulations, goal reached. What? You now have a daily water tracker app that we have just now built. Now, you have to save both files, open the terminal, which we just did, and the goal reached. Okay. Now, to show the structure, okay. So we have a JSON slot. When you add water, a file water underscore data.json is created. Each key is a date string, and the value contains the total. This keeps the app simple and offline capable. So something like this, right here. This is what it would look like. This is your date time string with the total of that day. Now this isn't the 15th, mind you, this is actually the 16th, so this is what it ends up looking like. Okay. This is the string that JSON's remembering every time it's running. So this is all offline. You don't have to worry about this getting thrown into some server somewhere. Okay. But this right here, look at this. Look at this. This is what I was talking about. Water underscore data.json. This is what it's doing. This is what it's remembering. So if we go ahead and run this again, and we do 12 outs. Okay. We go back to water.json. Look at that. 12 outs. It remembers for you, so that way it can keep calling it. Okay. So we'll go ahead and reset, and we'll go ahead and close it out. Now, some quick things you can add next. Setting screen to change the daily target, history screen with previous days, animations for the progress change or an export function. We can talk about that. And if you're curious about it, please hit me up and we can get into the nitty and gritty of it, because I do like programming and I think this is really cool. Because this is an app. You've just created an application. Now, you can, Pine's package for desktop we'll use Pine installer. So, right here, we'll work on the packaging. Right now, we'll just have the app itself. So, you basically just run the file, and it'll pull up the application. Packaging as far as having your own exe file and like an app based off of like the computer, like something like this, right? Running one of these. We're not going to do that quite yet, but we can get there at some point. Now, and this is the Daily Water Tracker app. Simple, functional, and a great Kivy starter project. If you want the full project files, shoot me an email, DM me, and I will happily email you the full collection of these files, the folder and everything. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. And thank you. Look at that. Check it out. Congratulations. You have learned to create an application that you can use that has functionality. Hopefully you can get crazy with it and have some fun with it. All right. Until next time. Goodbye now.